Hi, I'm going to show you the advanced fluids tracking support that we just added to Xchart. I'm going to just start things off by connecting a fake monitor here just so we get some data and we kind of start the case. But let's say that we have IV access going here and we have, just like before, if all you want to do is enter the same details you did before, there's nothing additional required, right? So you can still just go specify a location here when you started, select what kind of fluid you're using, and that's it. That's really all you have to do. There's no new requirements here as far as new things that have to be done. But if you want to add additional detail, you can jump to the drugs page now, and you can see there's a fluids tab that appears if you have the advanced fluids tracking feature on your account. So at this point, you'll see here we can specify all kinds of details that we may want to for specifying flow rates and that kind of thing, which also then actually creates a graph that will show up on the final report. So if we specify a flow rate here, let's say 300, and of course these are going to be estimates, but they can at least help you demonstrate that you responded to, say, low blood pressure or something, right? So if you want to demonstrate these kinds of things as part of your report, now you can. Additionally, if you want, you can specify a flush bolus. So if you're bolusing from the bag, you have the option of doing that here as well. So let's say you pull out some in a syringe from a bag and then kind of push it in. You can record that as well. So then it shows a circle here. Of course, keeps track of all the totals for you, just like you would expect. In terms of what it does the math for you and that kind of thing. It starts drawing the graphs here for us. Additionally, so it shows for bag 1, which was the normal saline bag that we connected here to our left-hand site. We have not yet recorded a removal time. It shows the current flow rate, so we currently have it active. Green means it's going. And then when we're done, we can just hit the stop button here, and it will ask us, hey, do you also want to record that the bag was removed? Yes or no. So if you select no, you might do that. Let's say if you are planning on if you're just stopping it, right? You're stopping it, but you're not actually removing it yet. You just turn the knob to stop it from dripping. You can certainly do that as well. Or you can just record a flow rate of 0. That also works. But anyway, so I'm going to say yes. And that stops it. Now it says removed and asks me for a total. So let's say we did 200 milliliters on this one. Now this one is completed. Additionally, we can jump to edit all records here, and it shows, just like the other edit records modals that we have, it shows everything for the left hand here placement that we added. It shows, the graph and everything. And also, if you did any pre-filled syringe flushes through this IV site, you can add those here as well. Generally, you'd probably add them through here. So, you also have the option here of adding another IV bag. So let's say you switch to a different type of fluid and you wanted to record that. That's all you got to do to start it, and then you can, of course, edit the time. So let's say it was a little sooner. And let's say we're doing roughly, these are going to be estimates. Let's say we're doing 500 milliliters an hour. And again, it's just now drawing these lines here for you at the top. So in this way, you can add multiple IV bags. And let's say we had a pre-filled syringe that we're not pulling from the bag, but that's just pre-packaged, ready to go. We can do that here. And record a flush of that as well, and that will just show another dot here. If we jump to the final report, it will now draw this graph here as well, and has all the details that we just added here in the IV section. That's new and improved here. Basically, it does the math for total fluid administered. Right now it's saying 210 because you have one that's completed. You sped 200, and then there's the 10 milliliter flush. So this is total normal saline at this site, pre-filled flushes. The flow rate is on bag 2 is currently this. We don't have an end time here yet, but the point is all this details here if you want to record it. And so let's jump back here to drugs. And let's, just for sake of example here, let's say that you add a completely different IV site altogether. So let's say you're also tacking on. So then we jump back to the IV access page here, over here. And then now there's a button that appears. Again, if you have advanced fluids tracking on your account, this appears and you can specify another one. So let's say we're doing, let's do right antecubital this time. When it was recorded, what we connected to it, and then that's done. So back to drugs now. So in addition to site 1 that we had here, if you scroll down on the page, there's now a site 2 for your antecubital. your right antecubital. And just like before, we haven't specified a rate yet. We can do that. It has not been removed yet, etc. One of the last thing I want to show you is once you have started recovery, just like normal, like we had before, there is still a discontinue IV button. The difference now is when you push this, it will stop everything. So if I do this and say discontinue, jumps me to the IV removal page where it inserted the current timestamp. It also pulled the SpO2 at the time of removal, kind of pre-inserted it for you here for review. And this page is now complete just by clicking that button. And if we go back to the drugs fluids here again, so drugs is still incomplete, and that's because even though we recorded the removal, we have not recorded, you see here, it's missing totals, right? So bag 2 at this site is missing totals. So if we say we did 400 total, and now it's complete. If we jump down here, let's say we do 200 total, and that's complete. So now fluids is complete over here. It's still saying that drugs is not because there hasn't been any inhalation agents, but let's just do that. And now that's complete as well. So in this way, you can, if you want, optionally add a lot of detail about your IV setup for a given case. Records it all for you, records, final SpO2, all that kind of thing in a nice, concise yet very detailed mechanism, and it draws these nice graphs for you just like it does for infusion. So we hope you find this feature helpful. I know this has been something that's been requested by many people who want to kind of demonstrate that they're responding to events from the patient by changing fluid flows and that kind of thing. So we hope you like it. Give us feedback as always, and thanks for watching. All right, bye.